It's been quite a long journey so far, and I realize that after the 1 year anniversary, we're now soon to be upon the 2nd year anniversary of me playing Destiny, the first game. And so, it has come to this. As the fandom shifts focus entirely to the PlayStation 4 for Rise of Iron, blah blah blah, and now to the oncoming beauty of Destiny 2, it appears that my final project will soon be upon us, and this will be by my own hand. And once this is all said and done, what will be, will be. Hey there guys, this is Rodimus Prime, and welcome back following the whole Age of Triumph update to the PlayStation 4 version of Destiny, and in a way also affects the PlayStation 3 version. I no longer maintain contact with a lot of Destiny forums and not really involved in the Destiny community as much anymore due to preferential differences of the outlook following the Age of Triumph. And I stand by how I believe and how I feel in what Destiny is, the direction in which it's going, and what it is that Bungie's doing. They all don't see it that same way. And so rather than try to tolerate it, I chose just up and leave. And so as of effective immediately, I'm no longer associated with any of the Destiny higher-ups or communities in tow, aside from this one on PlayStation 3. And once my project that I have here in question, which I will get to in a short minute, has concluded, there will be more in so. Now, with Destiny 2's impending arrival later on this year of 2017, it furthers my disappointment because, well, my disappointment and expectation, so it's kind of confusing. But it furthers this conflict of interest because of the initial outline of Destiny when it was vanilla Destiny initially after the beta of the first game. And the outline of this originally being an 8 to 10 year video game outline. Now, we're only 5 years into the outline so far, and then suddenly they've given up on Destiny 1, and we're here at Destiny 2. And so I think the premise of why Destiny 2 is trying to destroy everything that was created from the original run was to just have a clean slate and, in a way, try to redo the vanilla nuts and bolts that was done in the year 1 beta. And I think that's a good play. It's a bit too late, but it's a good play in order to try to salvage what was left of the gameplay and to salvage interest from us year 1 players, because the whole Age of Extinction update, I'm not even gonna lie, it's a gigantic middle finger to year 1 players, because that tells us that everything it is that we've done up to this point was crap and we have to do everything all over again, and none of us are trying to do all of it over again. So if any of us haven't left by now, we are just going to up and leave now. Grinding all 3 of the initial raids now brought up to year 3 status, in addition to the latest raid, that Wrath of Machines, however it is they want to label it, and then with their nuts and bolts and mechanics and how to learn how to do that. And then the further topping on this that's more disappointing is the rebuff of all of the original weapons and armor pieces and accessories you get from the year 1 raids that are brought to year 3 that are now turned into exotics in order to further glorify it. And you still nerf it. There is no elemental aspect of those weapons, and that's what made those weapons and armor pieces all unique and different. However, I digress with the obvious revelation of the Age of Triumph's update premiere. And any of you guys that have any similar feelings or contemplations that you wish to share about this, feel free to express it in the comment section below for others to read or to contemplate on as they continue to play this beauty of the update before the beauty of its fall, when a whole bunch of hyped up brats are suddenly going to stop playing Destiny 1 altogether and go right into Destiny 2, just like what Bungie wants you to do. Next is the realization of where I am in the game, and that's not very far right now. I realize that while I am off from the platinum, I'm 2 trophies away from it, needing the gold trophy for completing the raid flawless, and a silver trophy for needing to do a whole raid under a raid team. I have access to neither in a reliable aspect, and so I have to understand the realization of the fact that I have failed in accomplishing platinum status of this gameplay. And it's just not easy to come to terms with it, but this must be done. This is a big deal for me because this is one of the few games that I invested an astronomical amount of time and effort and love into in order to get as far as I was able to get. And yes, in the end, I made the choice of choosing to be better at playing the game rather than piggybacking off of other people in order to have most likely gotten the platinum sooner in my own right, based off of the efforts of everybody else around me other than myself. In one perspective, I still failed. In another perspective, I can find some solace in the fact that I was able to gain a huge amount of skill in my own right to where I can carry my own weight and do anything it is I wanted to do myself without having to rely on other people. The only problem about this that came back to bite me in the ass later on down the road is that the one accomplishment I need in order to seal the deal requires me to heavily be dependent upon the involvement of other people around me. Irony. It will take some time to come to terms with the fact that the 22nd platinum that I was looking for from Destiny, the video game, cannot be done, but I will need time. And lastly, it just brings me to the project in which I'm working on now, which will be my concluding project that I'm working on in the video game. And this will be the Triumph of Year 1, is what this will be labeled as. I call this the Triumph of Year 1 mainly because the age of Triumph was truly during the first year of the Destiny video game play, when it led to the rise of all the greatest YouTubers of all time, and it led rise to be known of all of the known accomplishments out there that can be accomplished in this video game. All of them were done originally during the very first year of the gameplay, before the second segment into the House of Wolves and Mara Sov, and before in the year 2 of the Taken King, and so on and so forth. My project here is to mainly focus on you guys, the Year 1 players. Those of us that have stuck to the foundation of Destiny since it came into our lives, and is still a part of our lives in some way, shape, or form, regardless of its direction now. And so, anything between Omnigul or Classic 3v3, Pro, to Crucible, to the Hand of Crota, to even the Great Crota's End Raid in Year 1 status glory. Everything of my documentations from here on out is going to be strictly to Year 1 focus. And so to any of the new players that don't know what I'm talking about, that's okay. You don't have to know what it is I'm talking about or understand. Just watch and enjoy. And in a sense, if I can present it as such, be educated in what Destiny looked like and how Destiny was played before you guys came in, and before Year 2's presence was solidified. And so, to all of the Year 1 players across the world, I want you guys to kindly please comment down below in the section what it is you loved about Year 1, and me, Nick Tommy Guns, and all of our friends are going to see if we can try and go in and capture the moment as best as we can and make it a good video, make it a good series of videos. Why? Because that's just what we do. We enjoy playing Destiny, we bullshit it to hell, we come right back and we bullshit it some more. And we try and work in some teabags, or we get teabagged in the process. Because Destiny is about having fun, being good at the game, enjoying the story, the lore, the weapons, storing all of the weapons, the armor pieces, the collectibles, everything. It's a part of the Destiny fandom, and we wouldn't really have it any other way. And lastly but not least in my documentation here today, I will also go over what will happen at the end of the road, because the end of the road is now in sight because I have laid it out as such. And so when my final project for the Triumph of Year 1 is complete, this will then be the fate of everything that I've done and everything I've created. At that point, when the final video is produced. Effective immediately, I will be dismantling and destroying all of my weapons, my armor pieces, accessories, collectibles, everything. I will destroy it all. And for my characters, I'm deciding whether or not to keep them or if I want to delete them all as well. It's still on the table, but for now I know that my Titan will no longer be necessary, as much as I would like to have him. And I will explain why all of this will happen. You see, for me playing Destiny, it wasn't all about collecting the trophies. Yes, collecting the trophies are nice, and that is why I also kept tryharding and working harder and harder at the gameplay to get as good as I am able to get, even though I still feel there's more I need to go, but it's too late. But I wanted to capture many memories and to have a good adventure in the online realm of Destiny. And I can say for the wholeheartedness of it all, for these past going on 2 years, let's say now, for the past 2 years now, I can easily say that I've made a lot of memorable journeys with a lot of memorable people, and a lot of good laughs have come from it all. And for all the people out there that were a part of the said joyous laughter, I thank you all. Flint, Bad Guy, Darcy, Blaster's Girl, Arg, Tiggle, Killer, Landozo, Online, Megadeth, Tommy Guns, the list goes on. I thank you for the memories. Because everything it is that we've created, that's what I take with me when I play the game for that one last time down the road. And so in that regard of having enjoyed the game to the fullest when I was able to with everybody I was able to, I would no longer necessitate all of the stuff that was involved. And thus, I can't give it to anybody else since there's no trading system. And I don't want to just leave it there in order for it to become futile and eventually meaningless in the wake of a newer era and a newer online adventure or sense of purpose that Destiny 1 mechanics and Destiny 1 memorabilia would encompass. If there's a way to transfer information from the first game to the second game, I don't know. But if I get the information beforehand, I might change my mind, and I could probably make a spare save file on PlayStation 4 that'll just sit on the back of the hard drive until Destiny 2 may come into my life, if it does come. I don't know any of this yet, but I will prepare only one small save file on a spare flash drive for just in case of this scenario. After that, everything else, like I said, would be destroyed and would be no more, because it would no longer serve me any purpose, and I would rather it be destroyed by my own hand than destroyed by the test of time. For me, eliminating my content when all is said and done at the end of the journey is just as meaningful as the day when I first obtained all of them in their glory and in their non-updated, rebuffed states. I know some of you are asking that it would be easier to probably just transfer the content over to PlayStation 4, but I will not be getting the PlayStation 4 version of Destiny. I see no purpose in it, and I honestly see no purpose in it at this point. It would be a waste of money, and I don't intend to have Bungie get any more money from me than need be at this point. They're already doing a pretty good job masking a money gain amidst the download and pre-order of the Destiny 2/beta. So, why help them along? That's my question back to you. The thinking process there is rather subtle, so it's not too negligent. Anywho, let me give you guys something to think about while we're sitting here. And thank you for my piece. Here's the promo for my triumph.
I'm not trying to be rude, but hate to Baby girl, I'm feeling you. The way you do the things you do reminds me of my Lexus cool. That's why I'm always in your grill, trying to get you to a hotel. You must be a football coach. The way you got me playing the field. So baby, give me that.
Mama rolling that body, got every man intuition. Sipping on coke and rum, like the water drum. It's the freaking weekend, baby, I'm about to